My name is Ruben Blaser
from G. Endruck AG, a second-generation family-owned business. I run the company together with my two brothers. We have 9 permanent employees, as well as 2 to 3 temporary workers when needed, and service over 1,000 active customers, from very small companies to international corporations. Our product range is comprehensive, from individual items and very small runs to large runs of 200,000 to 300,000 units, depending on the products. We do everything in-house, from business cards to corporate brochures to books. This means that we can cover around 98% of all inquiries with our production facilities, where we have 3 printing presses.
Dabei arbeiten wir vor allem mit den 3 Druckmaschinen. Alle Maschinen, die jetzt in Betrieb stehen, kamen die letzten 4-5 Jahre.
All the machines that are now in operation were purchased during the last 4 to 5 years. Against this background, the workflow suddenly became an issue. What tools do we want to use? Initially, Heidelberg was not our first contact. We were somewhat hesitant because we felt that Heidelberg had a reputation for being strongly focused on major customers. We thought they were too expensive, that everything cost too much. I didn't feel in particularly good hands with Heidelberg in the past. That has changed massively. First, we purchased the machines and were and continue to be extremely impressed by the technology. Today, I have to say that the partnership with Heidelberg is really a stroke of luck for us. We are in very good hands. In addition, with the workflow, we have a fantastic offering that we can afford as a small business.
Wir fühlen uns sehr gut aufgehoben. Wir haben mit dem Workflow vor allem ein fantastisches Angebot, das wir uns als Kleinbetrieb leisten können. Der Workflow war ein bisschen ein Problem.
In our case, it was the workflow that was the problem. We didn't want to spend too much on it, because it doesn't make money for us directly. This meant that initially we were always working with semi-professional solutions, for example for impositioning, or with obsolete RIP software for CTP. We kept hearing about the high investment the workflow caused, which put us off. The reason why we then looked at the Heidelberg workflow was the fact that we can lease the workflow and handle the costs based on plate production, because this means that only a small investment with very low initial costs is required. This argument led us to take a closer look at the workflow, even though of course the functionality was ultimately the clincher, together with the whole package, the advice, etc., that we had with Heidelberg. Another reason was that we wanted to get everything from one supplier. We wanted Heidelberg machines, in other words Heidelberg printing presses, Heidelberg CTP, and therefore also the Heidelberg workflow. Now, if we have a problem, Heidelberg is our single point of contact to get it resolved.
Wenn wir ein Problem haben, muss sich auch Heidelberg darum kümmern. Wurde bei uns präsentiert.
Heidelberg came to us and did a presentation on the production manager. We saw what the workflow can do. Of course, the workflow is enormous, with all the functions and all the modules it includes. As a small business, we definitely only use a small subset of these functions. But we tested it in advance and established that it included what we needed. We got to grips with the price model fairly quickly. I can't remember exactly how we came up with it. The suggestion was to bill by plates. This is your monthly consumption, and this costs you X amount of money. As a result, we know what costs to expect every month. And these are, I can say, quite low. They only increase if we really do a lot more work. And then, of course, we can afford to spend more. I've always felt well advised, so that it's not just Heidelberg making a profit. It's also lucrative for us as a small business. The feeling of being in good hands was very important. That Heidelberg as a partner didn't just want to make money, but rather wanted to grow with us.
Die wollen mit mir zusammen wachsen.